Hello and welcome to the video. So, 2 days ago I rode 100 kilometers. You might think 100 kilometers, it's not that impressive, and to be honest, it's not. In fact, it's not even the first time that I've ridden 100 kilometers. I actually did it one time before, about 6 months ago. However, what is interesting though is that since then I've been riding almost exclusively indoors using Zwift. So that means I can compare my fitness now to how it was before. So how much difference does 6 months of indoor training make to your outdoor fitness? Stick around to find out. So the first thing I needed to do was find out how much time I'd actually spent training. So to do that, I first thought I'll go into Strava and scroll down and just add up all the time. But then I realized this is going to take absolutely ages, so I figured out a much better way to do it. There is a website called Velo Viewer which links with your Strava, and using this you can export all your data and you can filter it to just show the rides you want. So what I did is just chose indoor rides and then exported it to an Excel spreadsheet. I did it this way because it shows you all your indoor rides, not just the ones on Zwift. So I've also been using Wahoo System and Trainer Road, so this takes all of them into account. When you download your data, you'll get something like this, a big spreadsheet. So you just need to find the column you want, which is the moving time, and then you can just add them together to get the total time. However, you do need to be a bit careful because it gives you the total time in seconds, so you just need to do some maths to convert that into hours or days or whatever format you want. So my total comes to almost 60 hours. So since my previous attempt of riding 100 kilometers, that is all the training I've done. So let me show you the route. So we start here in the city centre. Follow the main road out towards the coast. From there, we cruise along the seafront for a while, passing a few beaches, and then we reach the mountains. This road is actually a toll road, so I need to get there before 7 AM, otherwise they won't let me past. Anyway, we follow this beautiful coastal road, enjoying the rolling hills and sea views until we reach the highway. We follow the highway for a few kilometers until arriving back at the mountains. This is where the biggest climb begins. About 200 meters of elevation gain with gradients between 8 and 13%. Once we've struggled over the mountains, we have to follow the subway back into the city. From here, it's just a case of navigating the busy city roads until we're back to where we started. Overall, the route is 100 kilometers with about 1,100 meters of elevation gain in total. So that's the route sorted. Now let me show you the bike I'm going to use. If you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know I recently got a new bike. It's a brand new Trek Domane AL3, and this is a proper good road bike, which is designed for this sort of ride. So you've got slick tires, lots of gears, lightweight, everything you want. However, the first time I did this route, I didn't own that bike. I used my old hybrid bike, which isn't really designed for this sort of thing. It's very heavy, weighing in at over 15 kilograms. It only has 9 gears. It has grooved rubber bumpy tires to maximize rolling resistance, and it has a very comfortable upright riding position for maximum aero inefficiency. So to make it a fair test, I have to use this bike again. If I were to use my road bike, it would just be comparing how much faster the road bike is than my old bike. But I want to find out how much fitter I am, so I need to keep as many of the variables the same. So that's why I have to use the same bike as before. So here are the stats from when I did it before. So it's 100.54 kilometers, and it took me 5 hours and 22 minutes, with the elapsed time being 6 hours and 13 minutes. So this is what I need to beat, and I'm going to set myself a goal of trying to get it down to 4 hours and 30 minutes, because that would be an average speed of 22.2 kilometers an hour rather than 18.7. So that number I have just made up out of nowhere. It's not based on anything, so let's see if I can do it. All right, let's begin. So just about to head out. It's 4:30, and yeah, it's cold. I'm fully wrapped up. This should be fun. Guys, it's pretty damn chilly, but 4 AM is beautiful. No cars whatsoever. God, it's really, really cold.
I'm very glad I decided to put these trackies on at last minute, otherwise I would be freezing my nips off. So I want to focus on keeping my cadence up, because the quicker the cadence, the less exhausted my legs will be. Also want to keep the heart rate down. Don't want it spiking up to like 180, keep it down about 140, 150. So we've got a slight rise here, 3%. So yeah, not trying to do anything ridiculous. Lower the cadence, wait no. Up the cadence. Just to make it top. It's all rolling hills, but there's about 5 big climbs according to the Garmin. So I want to keep legs fresh for those. Not necessarily attack those hills, but just keep something in reserve. So if I'm going to get home within 4.5 hours, which is the goal, I'll need to be home before 9 AM. So that'll be the challenge. Hopefully we'll see if it works. If not, 10 AM, 11 AM, all is good. I mean, it's freezing out here, but my hands are starting to get warmer. And my core is starting to heat up a bit. Okay, 10 kilometers done. Just need to do this 10 times and then it's over. Average heart rate 145, not bad. Done 47 meters of climbing, which is nothing. So I'm gonna have a little rest at some point. Make sure the legs are fine, have some food. That's the worry. I don't want to run out of energy. So I'm going to take it slower than I think at this point. Be better safe than sorry. So we're very much out of the city now, and this is into the coastal area. Like I'm riding right against the beach, but you can't see it, it's so dark, but this is really quite beautiful. Anyway, I'm about 5 kilometers away from the toll road where they ban cyclists, so I can't stop now, but as soon as I get through that, I'll stop and have a rest. Alright, here we are. So I've turned off my light so I can sneak through. Hopefully they're all asleep. Alright, made it through, but now, God, I'm properly cycling in the dark now. No street lamps or whatever. God, this is going to be brutal. And I've got a climb starting. God, I need the morning to come now. You can't see how pretty this area is, but Jesus Christ, is it nice. Alright, that's the whole climb done. It was very, very short. So, nice bit downhill now to relax. It's just on the cusp of morning. $25K done already. That's not bad. Alright, now we've got a climb beginning. 2 kilometers at 6%. So let's see how this goes. So just about 20 kilometers in. Still so dark, can't really see anything, but yeah, it's not too bad. Legs are feeling a bit exhausted. Still
climbing, got about 1 kilometre to go at 6%, but yeah, it's really nice. Maybe in another hour or so, the sun will be out fully. I need some carbs. Get some of this down me. 850 meters to the top of the climb. Made it to the top. Now, time to enjoy the downhill. The sun has just come out. I'm not sure what the time is, let me check. 6 AM, I've just got to the top of my first hill and it is so nice here. My legs are a bit tired, so I'm gonna have a bit of a break. I'm about 30 kilometers in, have a banana, have a drink and get back to it. I'm about 1/3 of the way there. But I'm on the coastal road now, which you're not normally supposed to go on, so I had to come so early, which explains it. It's very misty today, it's very beautiful. No complaints whatsoever. Okay, so we're 30 kilometers in, 1 hour and 22 minutes done, average speed 21.6. Yeah, not too bad, a bit behind pace. Hopefully it should be okay. I've done 300 meters of elevation gain, so I want to average a bit of a higher speed for this portion because we're going to go through the mountains and then get back onto a really flat, long highway thing. So yeah, that's it. Let's go. Legs are feeling good. I've eaten a lot. I've drunk a lot. Yeah, so everything's good so far. And it is beautiful here. As you can see, it's quite misty, but yeah, that's the sea just over there. All right, let's go. I'm getting, oh bloody hell, I'm getting some proper Silent Hill vibes going through here. Jesus Christ. I'll tell you what, that was very weird. It's so misty today, it's really strange. Hopefully the sun will come out soon. Anyway, just clocking over to 42 kilometers. We've got a nice long bit of flat road now, so this is where I want to make up some time. God, it's cold though. So back where all those roadworks were, I've actually been there before. Last time I did this, those roads were just as smooth as this. So it's very strange. I mean, it's the low season now, and that's a very touristy area. So they're probably just getting everything done now before all the tourists come back. So it's so cold, I'm just having a quick stop to have a drink. Yeah, my hands are fine, but my feet are freezing. We're about 43 kilometers in, average speed is 21.6 so far. I'm glad I bought this bike rather than the road bike, because those conditions back there were horrible. So yeah, probably would have got like a flat tire if I used my road bike. Anyway, I've got a nice long period of flat ground now, so I'm going to try to make up some time. Alright, I'm refueled. Onwards and upwards. Let's go. Just past 50 kilometers. The sun is finally coming out and it's going to hopefully get a bit warmer now. I am absolutely cold. So yeah, I'm glad I wrapped up this morning. But now, yeah, sun's out, it's about 7:30. Yeah, it's good. I'm at halfway, 50 kilometers to go. So you can see over there, that's the mountain. We're gonna climb up a bit. There's about 200 meters of elevation gain coming up now. It's a big climb, and then after that, most of the climb will be done. Well, most of the climbing will be done. So yeah, it's still very early, cold, super cold. Just having a break now. The bike is holding up well. It's a good thing I brought this one rather than the road bike, because some of those bumpy conditions earlier would not have been ideal for a road bike. So yeah, I'm happy I've got the knobbly tires and a bit of suspension.
Yes. Come on. That's it. That's the main climb done. Time to enjoy the downhill. The second half of this ride is going to be so much easier. I've already done 750 meters of elevation gain. Only 250 meters to go in 45 kilometers. So it's pretty much flat from here on out. I cannot wait. Just going to try to keep up the pace and enjoy it. So the clock just ticked over to 3 hours. I have quite a bit of time. I've been riding for 3 hours, done 61 kilometers. So yeah, it's going well so far. Got about 40 kilometers to go, but it's not as hilly, so that should go quite well, I think. Anyway, let's get back to it. I'm feeling fine. Legs are good. I've got a bit of a sniffle, but yeah, it was very cold this morning. Hopefully I will feel all right when I get home. All right, let's go. So we're just going past the Decathlon on the left here. That is actually where I bought this bike. Anyway, 99.5 Ks, I'm pretty much home. My building is just straight up ahead, but I've got like a 13% grade to get up there, so that's the final push and then we're done. At the moment it's 4 hours and 48 minutes cycling, so yeah, final push and then we're home. Done. I am broken. Final stats, 106 kilometers, average speed 20.5. It took 4 hours and 55 minutes. So it's 25 minutes quicker than last time. Total ascent, 10,046 meters. Alright, let's stop this.
So it's now 2 days after the ride, and how do I think it went? Overall, I thought it went quite well. I was a bit quicker, which we'll go into in more detail in a bit. Some of the more painful things were, it was very cold. I don't think I dressed really appropriately. It was very foggy, which I wasn't expecting, so I just wore trackies, which got very waterlogged, and it's just not particularly good cycling gear, but it's all I had really. I don't have any proper winter cycling stuff. My feet got very cold, so I'll probably get some better cycling shoes with those rubber feet protector things to keep myself warm. My legs felt very tired on the day, but now that it's 2 days later, I actually feel fine. I reckon I could go out again. After one day, they still felt a bit tired, but no worse than they do after a really hard Zwift race. So overall, I think my recovery must be getting better, because after the first time I did this ride, my legs were done. I had to sit down for a few days, basically. So yeah, recovery is getting better. In terms of nutrition, I ate 2 bananas, 1 packet of sweets, and some energy drink. So overall, the calories, I will put them up in the corner. And in terms of drinks, I took 2 750ml bottles and 1 1.5 litre water backpack thing. So overall, that would be 3 litres of water. And it was a very cold day, but I still managed to finish all of it. So yeah, I think it was about the right amount of food. Probably could have done with a bit more. I was getting very tired at the end. Okay, let's go into the stats of the ride. So my overall distance was 100.62 compared to 100.54. This is not exactly the same because both GPSs will have slight errors with them, and I've moved house since then, so the route is slightly different, but 99% of it is the same. The moving time has gone down from 5:22 to 4:56, which is about an 8% increase in speed, which isn't bad. I'm pretty happy with that. I didn't achieve my goal of 4 hours and 30 minutes, but looking back, that seems like a ridiculously fast time. I averaged 20.4 kilometers an hour compared to 18.7, so it's about 2 kilometers an hour faster. It was about 20.7 until I got to that last climb up to my house where I was absolutely done. I had nothing left to give there. My max speed is a bit lower on this ride compared to before. I just wasn't as brave going down the hill, which is fair enough. There's no real time to be gained going down the hill. It's not really worth it. I'm not racing. I'm just racing myself. An interesting one here is the weather. Last time I did it, it was 22 degrees, which was really nice. Today it was 6 degrees, and it felt like it was much colder than that because it was so foggy and wet, basically. I was very cold throughout, especially when I was going through Silent Hill. Last time it was the complete opposite. I was overheating rather than being too cold. But I think in terms of performance, overheating is probably worse than being too cold. If you're too cold, you can just go faster and hopefully your body will warm up. That's not scientific advice, so don't quote me on that. The elapsed time is much shorter as well. Previously it was 6:13 and now it's 5:35. So yeah, that's about 10% quicker, not too bad. An interesting one is the relative effort. So this is how hard Strava thinks your ride is. So it says this was a much harder effort than the time I did it previously, which I don't agree with because I feel much better now after riding 100 kilometers than I did before. After the first time I did this, I was fully exhausted. Like I just sat down for a long time basically. Whereas after this ride, I feel much better. I feel like I could have carried on a bit. Maybe not straight away, but the next day I could have gone out for a ride, whereas previously I was done for ages. I was just lying in bed, recovering. Okay, so that's the really simple stats. Let's go into the more detailed ones. Okay, so on the left-hand side is my recent ride. On the right-hand side is my previous ride. So what you can see here is, interestingly, my average power, now this is my estimated power from Strava, so it's probably not very accurate, so take it with a grain of salt. It says my average power is 188, previously it was 164, so a slight increase, and my max power is 1,209 compared to 1,025. Again, probably not very accurate whatsoever, but I don't have a power meter, so that's all we're going to go on. Heart rate max 176 compared to 174, again a tiny bit higher. More interestingly, the average heart rate is 151 compared to 143. So you could look at this two ways. On the one hand, you could say a higher average heart rate is you're pushing yourself harder, so your body's got to work more, so your heart rate will be higher. Another way of looking at it is saying if you've got a lower average heart rate, you're more fit because your body doesn't have to work as hard. So that's quite interesting. I guess this time I was just pushing myself a bit more because I knew I had a time to beat, whereas previously I was just trying to get home just to see if I could actually do it. Cadence, this is quite good. So my max cadence was 240, which is obviously not true. It's just a glitch because I don't think anyone can spin that fast. Anyway, my average cadence was 76 compared to 70 last time. So at the beginning of the ride, I said I wanted to increase my cadence to try and save my legs, which I've managed to do a bit, 6 RPMs quicker. So that's not too bad. And yeah, the temperature is interesting. A max of 33 last time I done it. That is very hot. Whereas this time the max was 21 and the average was 9. So another thing I just want to talk about quickly is the effort comparison on Strava. So this shows you how fast you go through a segment compared to other people. So this climb had 188 meters and it's a category 3 climb, 7% for 2.6 Ks. So you can see how much faster like a proper good cyclist is. The purple dot is the person who has the fastest time on Strava, and you can see he absolutely shoots away from us. The black dot is the ride I did just now, the ride I did recently, and the blue dot is the ride I did before. So by the time we're about halfway up, I'm already 2 minutes ahead, and by the time I get to the very top, I am about 4.5 minutes ahead. So just in that short section, I have gained 4.5 minutes. So I think that shows my improvement more than most of the rest of the ride, because the climb was one of the few bits where there's no cars, there's no traffic stopping you. So I was really happy with that, because 4.5 minutes, that's a pretty big amount of time to shave off. So I took my time from 22 minutes to about 18 minutes, and that is about a 20% increase in speed. So just that hilly section, I'm very happy with that result. So what we have learned is that 6 months of Zwifting does make you about 8% faster if you use the same bike. This is not particularly scientific whatsoever, but I thought it was interesting anyway. If you liked it and enjoyed watching me suffer, you can subscribe and I will make more and more videos. I'm thinking next time I'm going to make a video about comparing my road bike to the hybrid bike to see how much difference that makes. Okay, that's it for this one. I will see you in the next video.